All right, let's take a quick peek at our tip of the week. We're going to be talking about managing our wall information. When we're talking about managing our wall information, we're going to be talking about our properties and our classifications. So we have classifications that are specific to our walls. And we go into our classification manager to get to that. And we come down to our walls here, and we can set an ID and the available properties that are available for a wall. Okay, so this one has a custom, and any property that is meant for a wall is added onto this list over here. Okay, so within our wall settings, our classification would be set as a wall. Okay, so then once we have our classification set as a wall, we go into the properties. And now we're going to start defining the properties that can be used for a wall. And this is going to include things such as finishes, any product information, any specific constructional notes, really any information that you want to be able to sort your walls by, control a graphic override for it, or be able to pull that information into a schedule is going to be managed within our properties here. So when we are in our properties, we have a couple different ways that we can manage this information. We can do an option set where we have a list of options that we can choose from. We can set it as undefined or a specific value, okay? And now we would also assign a classification to this. So for this, what are we looking at? A fire resistance rating. It is specified that this fire resistance rating can be used for all of these classifications under here. Okay, so all of these different types of elements, classifications, can have a fire rating assigned to it. If it's not on this list, then it's not going to be able to be set for that specific classification element. And so once we have those properties and those classifications managed and set up properly, when we go into our wall settings and we come down to our classifications and properties, the first thing we're going to look at is that our classification is set to a wall. By clicking this flyout, you'll see the list of different classifications. And then underneath that, we're going to get a list of all of the properties that can be assigned for a wall classification. Okay, and this is where we would see that fire resistance under there as well. Things that would also be included in this are going to be your ID, your structural functioning, so whether it's load bearing or not, its position, if it has a renovation status to it, its construction type, its zone, its environment. And by going through your properties here, you can start specifying these. If it has a flyout, that means you have an option set. Undefined means that you can type that in, and all of these can be customized from the wall settings themselves. So that way, when we open up our model and we start wanting to show specific things, we can start using that information within the properties to sort things out for graphic overrides. So in this case, we have 3 different options for our fire ratings. We have a 30-minute, a 60-minute, and a 90-minute. We have a graphic override set for each one of those individual fire ratings. So it's using those classifications and those properties to create those rules for our graphic overrides. In this example here, it is using similar information, but it is looking at the structural load information that we have put into those walls as well. So it's creating a graphic override based on the structural load that you have assigned to each individual wall or wall group. In this example, we have set it to project phases. Okay, so we can see the changes within the project per phase that we're in. And again, these are set within our properties. In this case, it was an option set within our wall properties. And then we brought that over, or we used that information within our graphic overrides to create different rules. So if the wall is in a phase 1, it's going to show up red, phase 2 will be blue, and phase 3 will be purple. And we combine those rules together to give us our graphic override, and now we can show that information separate from anything else to really hone in on what we're trying to show for each graphic override that we're needing. Okay, so one way we can control how our information is being displayed is by assigning properties to it and then using those properties to customize our graphic overrides.